Welcome to Sara Yoga. I'm Kat and this is day 9 of Love, a 14-day yoga journey. Today's class has lots of balances. When you work hard to practice building your strength and the focus of your mind to balance, it's amazing for building your sense of inner strength and therefore inner self-worth and self-love. So if you need to use the wall to help steady you in the balances, that's completely fine. And maybe you repeat this class lots of times until you feel steady and secure in those balances and just watch your confidence improve. We're going to start standing today, so hop on up and I'll see you on the mat. So we're coming to stand at the back of the mat with feet inner hip distance apart, and you can bring your thumbs to the back of the pelvis, fingertips to the inner hip bones. Lift and spread out your toes and begin to rock your weight forwards and backwards on your feet. Feeling the feet working, feeling really grounded into the earth with the feet. And the lines between your second and third toes are aligned with your knees and your inner hip bones. So we've got that alignment there, heel behind the widest part of the foot, so feet are parallel. Make each tilt smaller each time until the feet are evenly grounded. Ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, left and right sides of the heel. The arches feel lifted, the knees are soft. And then bringing your awareness to your pelvis and tip your pelvis forwards and backwards. So forwards is like a bowl of water spilling out the front, and backwards is like a bowl of water spilling out the back. We're going to make each tilt smaller each time until we come to a neutral pelvis. Like a bowl of water that's not spilling. Shoulders are stacked over the hips directly and arms come down by the sides. Take a lovely deep breath in. As you shrug your shoulders up to your ears, you can circle them down. And inhaling, circling up. And exhaling down. We are beginning to connect with our breath now. Let's do a few more shoulder circles. So really feeling that lovely expansion of the rib cage as you inhale. And you can roll your shoulders back to stretch out through the front of the chest. And exhale, slide the shoulders down and forward, and again. Just feeling all those lovely movements that your shoulder blades can make on your back. Keep your knees soft. One more shoulder circle in this direction. And then we'll change direction and circle the other way. Inhaling, circling up. And exhale down. Just check in with your face and jaw, your lips, teeth and tongue, that they are relaxed. You might just slightly engage the corners of your mouth to lift them into a little smile. That's really good for lifting your mood. And then we'll make that the last round of circles for the shoulders. Slide your shoulders down your back as if you could put them into your back pockets and keep them there. Turn your palms face forward. And you feel broad across the front of your body and the back of your body evenly. So we're not sloping the shoulders forward or squeezing them together. And be aware of your breath. You might like to close your eyes. Breathe evenly into your rib cage. As you inhale, feel the ribs expanding forwards, backwards and out to the sides. And as you exhale, allow them to evenly draw in. Continue with your breath. Just allowing your mind to be still and quiet as you focus on the sensations of your breath. And bring your awareness to your pelvic floor, that hammock of muscle at the base of your body. When you find your perfect alignment in Tadasana, as we have here, you may feel a natural engagement of the pelvic floor, like a hammock of muscle, gently lifting up and drawing in. You might also feel a gentle engagement from inner hip bone to inner hip bone, across the lower abdominal muscles. See if you can sense that naturally happening. Don't worry if you can't, just see what you feel. That sensation is Mula Bandha, the root lock of energy. When Mula Bandha is activated, this does help you balance because you're engaging the pelvic floor and you're engaging the abdominal muscles. You can give this a little bit of conscious engagement if you want to. So you can feel that you're softly lifting your pelvic floor like an aeroplane, drawing its wheels up and in. And you can feel that sense of engagement from inner hip bone to inner hip bone. You can also feel like you're very gently drawing your tummy in towards the spine. So when you're up in the balances, that can be quite handy to help you get that balance. So let's come into our first balance. Bring your weight over into your left foot and take your right foot up off the mat. So knee is level with the hip. And you can feel your core working. It's okay to be a bit wobbly. The tummy is drawing in, the pelvic floor is lifting. And feel as though you're engaging from inner hip bone to inner hip bone. So you've got that sense of engagement in the lower abdominal area. Release your arms down by your sides. That might make it a little bit more challenging as well to balance. Take a nice inhalation here. And exhale as you tuck your chin and roll down slowly, vertebra by vertebra. You can bring your knee up towards your nose. So you're curling in, you're working your hip flexor in the right leg in the front of the body. This is so great for core strength. Release your neck, let your head hang down. Use a wall if you need to help you balance. And then drawing the tummy in, lifting the pelvic floor, slowly rolling back up. Keep that leg up, keep it balanced. Taking hold of your right ankle or foot in your hand. You might like to bring your left hand back to your hip now. Check that you have a neutral pelvis. So it's not spilling forward or back if it were a bowl of water. And feel that core strength engaging. And as you feel your core strength engaging, maybe you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch down the right quadricep muscles in the front of the right thigh. If you do have any problems with your right knee, then be very cautious with this one. If it's bothering you, then release. If you're okay at this level, then stay here, but maybe don't go to the next level. And then to go a bit further, we're going to raise the left arm up, bringing thumb and forefinger together in Jnana Mudra. And reaching your left arm up, keep dropping your left shoulder down your back. Take hold of the inside edge of your right foot and push your foot into your hand. So you're staying quite upright, the hips stay squaring forward like the inner hip bones were headlights on a car. Push your foot into your hand, so it's dancer pose here. The chest stays squaring forward. And as you push your right foot back into your hand, you'll feel a nice stretch across the front of the right pectoral muscle in the chest, maybe the shoulder. Do use a wall to hold on to if you need to help steady yourself, because then you can get a bit more of a stretch if you're finding the balance a bit challenging. And remember to listen to that right knee if it's giving you any troubles. If it's saying don't do this, then don't. And then drawing your tummy in as you draw everything back to center, nice neutral pelvis. See if you can keep that leg lifted. As you bring the foot either to the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh for tree pose. So I'm going to go for the inner thigh, see how I go. It's really important that you're not sliding your right foot down to the knee. So if you end up sliding onto the knee joint, then just bring the foot below the knee, because we don't want to be pressing sideways into the standing knee joint. And you do want to be pressing your foot into that thigh and returning the pressure with the thigh. So you're squeezing the thigh and the foot together, or the calf, you can do the same there. And if your foot's down on the floor at the ankle, you've got a little bit of your right foot on the floor, so it's better for balance. Keep rolling the right knee out, hips are squared forward. So you have that opposition happening here in the hip, neutral pelvis, a bowl of water that's not spilling. Bring palms to touch, you're doing so well. You've done so much balancing on that left foot, that left leg. Make sure that you're not gripping the mat with your left toes. So maybe give them a little spread out or a wiggle. Inhale as you reach your hands up, and exhale the hands just to float above the crown of the head. A right angle, bend at your wrists. Elbows are broad, just in your peripheral vision. And breathe, widen fill into your chest. Feeling broad across the back of your body and the front of your body evenly. Beautiful. Tree pose. Bring your hands down in front of your heart again. And bring your hands back to your hips, release your leg, and have a really good paddle out for your feet. This left foot has been working really hard. You can paddle the feet, come right up onto the ball of the foot to stretch out the foot. And then coming back into your Tadasana alignment again, parallel feet. Spread out the toes. Have a gentle rock forwards and backwards on your feet. Bring your weight over into your right foot, bringing your left foot up off the mat, trying to stack knee level with the hip and having your core engagement. So you can feel as though you're breathing wide and full into your chest, so take a nice deep chest breath in. And as you exhale, feel as though you're drawing the ribs in and down. So that will help to engage the top part of your abdominal muscles. And then as you breathe in again, make sure that you breathe nice and evenly into your rib cage. So you can still breathe, but you're not flaring those ribs out again. You still have that sense of drawing the lower ribs down to help engage the core. So it's like your breath expands your rib cage evenly, forwards, backwards, out to the sides, like a life jacket expanding around your body evenly as the ribs stay drawn in. They still expand, but not flaring. So you've got that lovely strength in the upper abdominal muscles, and then feel as though you're engaging from inner hip bone to inner hip bone, strength in the lower abdominal muscles. You'll probably feel your pelvic floor naturally lifting. You might like to give it a conscious lift if you can. Relax your arms down by your side. Check in with how you feel. Check in with your right knee. Keep it soft, don't let it lock. Inhale here. And exhale as you roll your spine down, vertebra by vertebra, working your left knee up. This is so challenging, you're doing so well. This is so great for your core. Great, come back to center, taking your left foot in your hand, working the knee down towards the earth. You can bring your right hand onto your hip. And just check that your pelvis is neutral, so that right hand can be a guide, observing inner hip bone level with the back rim of bone and that right hip. Feeling that neutrality in the pelvis. And as you find that neutrality, notice whether it engages the stretch a little bit more in the left, front of the left thigh, and breathe. Good. And then use the wall to help balance if you need. Taking hold of the inside edge of your left foot, and taking your right hand into Jnana Mudra. So thumb and finger to touch, and reaching your right arm up. Pushing your left foot into your hand, keeping your chest shining forward and heart open. Hips are squaring forward. Chest is squaring forward. Pushing your foot into your hand. And breathe. Check in with your face and jaw and lips, teeth and tongue, that they are relaxed. And slowly drawing everything back to center. Keeping your left leg raised, taking the left foot to somewhere on the right leg, so it could be ankle, maybe calf, maybe inner thigh. Make sure you're not pressing on your knee joint. Hips are squared forward, pelvis is neutral, like a bowl of water, not spilling. So I just found mine tipping forward a little bit then, so I just bring it back to neutral. And that automatically makes me feel more engagement across the lower abdominals. That's Mula Bandha, the root block of energy, naturally engaging when I find correct alignment. And then toes are relaxed, maybe lift and spread the toes. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Keep working the left knee out to the side as the hips square forward. That little bit of opposition happening is helping to open the left hip joint. Stretch the muscles around it. Inhaling, reaching your arms up, and exhaling, the hands just float above the crown of the head. Breathing in. Elbows are broad, just in your peripheral vision. Good. And then bringing your hands down in front of your heart. Release your leg down, have a nice few paddles for the feet. And then widening your feet slightly, still keep them parallel, heel behind the widest part of the foot, soft knees. Inhale as you lift and lengthen up out of your hips, and exhale as you hinge forward at your hips, letting your knees bend so that your lower back can stay flat, so we don't want any rounding in the lower back. Let your belly come to your thighs, let your knees bend as much as you need to allow this to happen. Bring your fingers to the inside edges of your ankles and thumbs to the outside edges. Release the shoulders. Have a few gentle wiggles side to side. And then from here, sitting your bottom down into squat pose, it's okay to let the heels lift. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Use your elbows to nudge the knees outwards. So I've got my heels flat on the floor, and I'm able to keep my spine long and not round my shoulders with the heels flat. But if you need to lift your heels, that's fine. If you find yourself hunching and rounding, try lifting the heels. And even just a little bit can help lengthen the spine. And then squat pose does become more of a balance, so it's a bit more challenging in that way, so that's really nice. So then, with as much grace as possible, lowering your bottom down to the floor and giving your knees a hug. And then coming into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Taking a moment to observe how you feel. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Feel the connection of the palms together. And then just gently bowing your head and bringing your thumbs to the third eye point in the center of the forehead. Taking a moment to thank yourself for your yoga practice today. Bringing your hands in front of your heart, and you might like to just press your thumbs, the heels of the hands into the sternum, just feeling that sense of gratitude to yourself for making it to the mat today, for working on your strength, both physically, emotionally, and energetically. And just feel that sense of self-love. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.